Hello there. I thought maybe it's wise that we discuss all the calculation of this provision for discount allowed. So you'd see that provision for discount allowed, the formula that we are going to use is percentage of the provision for discount allowed times good debtors. So what they call good debtors, they are not debtors, but we call them good debtors. So we're going to say calculation for provision. Calculation for provision for discount allowed, we are going to say percentage times good debtors, whereby our good debtors, we are going to calculate our good debtors is equal to the debtors figure, the debtors figure minus the provision for bad debts amount, and then when we have subtracted provision, of course, at first we have to subtract the figure for our bad debts, further bad debts that will be given in additional information. So we are saying minus bad debts, and then we subtract again the figure for provision, that provision for bad debts adjustment that would have calculated. So in this case, we already have the figure for debtors. We have it here. Remember, this is our debtors control. So this is the figure for debtors that we have, which is 43,500. This is the figure for data. So we are able to say 43,500, we already have it. Then the figure for bad debts we are not concerned about bad debts that will be given maybe under nominal cost section. You ignore the bad debts that will be given under nominal cost section. Already we have got bad debts here, 3,155. You ignore it. Why? Because everything that is in the pre-adjustment trial balance was already adjusted. So we do not need to further adjust it. It will be a repetition. But something that will be added in the additional information, it means it was omitted or it was a mistake. So if you come here, you would see that on item 4, it's saying write off the date of miscellaneous to a data as recovered 1,500. This one is the additional information. It means it was omitted. So we need to subtract it. Uh, when we subtract it now, uh, that's when we are going to find the figure for calculating provision for bad debts. Now, remember, we also have to subtract provision for bad debts. Then we say 5% to get the provision for bad debts. So we say 43,500. The figure that we got as our data is 43,500. And then we subtract 1,500, and that was further written off to get our figure is 42,000. And then we use now the percentage that we are given here for provision for bad debts is 5%. So we are going to say times 5%. So we are going to say 5% times 42,000. So to simplify it, 5% is just 0.05 as a decimal. We multiply by 42,000. So you do that, you are going to see that the answer that you are going to get is 2,100. So already you now have the figure for provision for bad debts, the level for provision of bad debts, and then you also have the further debts that are going to be written off as 1,500. So you can now come here and substitute now into a formula that we formulated at the beginning, whereby we are saying it's minus debtors minus bad debts minus provision for bad debts. So we are now saying the bad debts figure that we got is 1,500. That is given in the additional information, whereas the provision that we calculated which we got is 2,100. So in that case, we find the figure for our good debtors. So we can just try to make that calculation. Let's just try to see. Whereby we are saying 43,500, and then we multiply, we subtract 1,500, and then we subtract again 2,100, and then we get 39,900. So here you get 39,900. So 39,900. We can just maybe try to correct it. So this is the figure for good data, of which we are going to say percentage times good data. Remember the percentage for calculating a provision for discount allowed. We can just try to go back again. Provision for discount allowed, we are given it again is 5%. You can just check here. It's given as 5% of data. So we now say 5% times the figure that we got as the good data. So here again, calculation is now 5%, 5 over 100 times 39,900, of which 5%, of course, as a decimal is 0.05 times 39,900. So from there, the answer that we are going to get now is provision for discount allowed is going to 1,995. And please, this figure is going to be under less expenses, less operating expenses. Remember, we have got the section of distribution expenses, whereby you are just going to subtract expenses. After that, that's where you're going to put 1,995. Most the assumption is that the previous year's provision for discount allowed is not given in the pre-adjustment trial balance. So in that case, we are assuming that the provision for discount allowed is making a movement from 0 to 1,995, which is an increase. And when it's an increase, it's an expense. So basically, we post it under expenses, under operating expenses as an expense. So that's the adjustment that we have. So thank you. And hopefully, this is going to help us.